Minecraft's enchanting system is not the best. I mean, it's alright in some places, and it's absolutely crucial to the late game, but it still could be hugely improved. For example, why are villagers pretty much the best way to get enchantments? Shouldn't it be the enchanting table? And speaking of the enchanting table, why can't you get what enchantments you actually want? You shouldn't just have to stick with whatever the enchantment table gives you. Alright, so obviously we should try to redesign the enchanting system. But how should we do this? Well, there are a lot of different problems we need to solve, so we should make a list of them to ensure our system fixes all of them. Problem 1. In the current system, the enchantment table isn't really needed for enchantment. You can easily use villagers. Problem 2. There is no way to target or aim for what enchantment you want in the enchantment table. Problem 3. There are many quote-unquote necessary enchantments that most players feel like they need on their tools before they can even use them. This includes things like mending and unbreaking. Problem 4. A lot of players are always in constant worry that their tools will break. Problem 5. If you get one tool with the best possible enchantments on it, you never have to use any other tool of the same kind ever again. This is bad because you never experiment with different enchantments, which contributes to Minecraft getting stale. Problem 6. This one isn't so much of a problem with the enchanting system, but this system, like any addition to Minecraft, should try to give use to otherwise useless items. So I guess the problem would be that some items in Minecraft are pretty useless. Okay, so now that we've got our list of problems, let's work on some solutions. The first new feature we're going to add to Minecraft is primary and secondary enchantments. Okay, so normally, you can just put a bunch of different enchantments on one item, and all the enchantments will work the same exact way as they would alone. Instead, each enchantment will now have one primary enchantment and then other secondary enchantments. The primary enchantment is a very strong version of the regular enchantments in normal Minecraft. When you first enchant an item in an enchanting table or with an enchanted book, you get the primary enchantment. Then, if you put more enchantments on, with an enchanting table or with an enchanted book, you can get additional secondary enchantments. Secondary enchantments are weaker forms of the regular enchantments in normal Minecraft. You might not realize it, but this pretty much solves problem number 5, which states that players never need to experiment with different tools. Since each tool will now have its own unique combination of strengths and weaknesses, depending on the primary and secondary enchantments chosen, there will no longer be a one-size-fits-all best tool. Players will be incentivized to strategize and experiment with various enchantment combinations to find the tool setup that best suits their individual playstyle, or the specific task at hand. This not only adds depth and complexity to the enchanting system, but also keeps the gameplay fresh and engaging. There is one little problem about this, though. Now the inventory is always going to be cluttered up with extra swords, pickaxes, and shovels because multiple tools are needed in place of one super powerful tool. The solution to this is 2 new items called the belt and sheath. The belt is crafted with 1 iron and 2 leather horizontally in the crafting table. It can then be used with a new item called the sheath. The sheath is crafted with 2 leather vertically in the crafting table. Now, if you right-click with the belt selected in your hotbar, you get a GUI with 3 empty inventory slots. Here, you can put in up to 3 sheaths. Now that the belt has sheaths on it, you can put it in a new designated armor slot. After doing that, if you press B with a tool selected in your hotbar, the tool goes inside one of the sheaths in your belt. You can fill your belt up with 3 tools, and then when you try to fill it up with a 4th, it just cycles through the tools so you can quickly access different ones. Alternatively, if you only had 1 sheath in the belt, then you could just alternate between 2 tools. Then, if you press B while in an empty hotbar slot, and you have some tools in your sheaths, you can unload the tools from them. If you take a sheath out of the belt while it still has a tool in it, you can place it down on the side of a block to display the sheath and your item. It would be similar to an item frame, but more 3D. Now that we've got the distinction between primary and secondary enchantments, let's move on to the actual enchantments themselves. Some enchantments have been removed and some have been added, but overall, most of them have stayed without changing. Here are all the enchantments that have stayed in the new system. Pause now if you want to read it for some reason. So all of the enchantments I'm going to remove are because of problem 3, which states that some enchantments are so necessary that it's a no-brainer that people would use them. Again, this is bad because it removes a lot of choice and decision making from the game. Let's move on to the first enchantment that is removed, which is sharpness. I would say that sharpness is a no-brainer for swords because it just instantly makes the sword more powerful. Like, why wouldn't you get sharpness? Anyways, sharpness is gone. But I still feel like there definitely should be a way to increase the effectiveness of your tools that also depends on the individual task at hand. This is why I've decided to introduce 3 new Bane of Blank enchantments. These will act as sharpness for more specific scenarios. Also, the names might be deceiving, but they don't put slowness on the mob damages like Bane of Arthropods does. Also, I'm removing Bane of Arthropods, so it's okay. Anyways, the 3 new types of Bane of Blank enchantments are Bane of Nice Over Mobs, which is strong against passive overworld mobs, Bane of Mean Over Mobs, which is strong against hostile overworld mobs, and Bane of Other Mobs, which is strong against mobs in the Nether and End. I combine the Nether and End into one enchantment because most of the time when you are playing Minecraft, you're in the overworld and not in the Nether or End. Anyways, let's move on. The next removed enchantment is Protection. This is because 90% of the time, armor with full protection 4 is better than getting combinations of the other more specific protection enchantments, like blast protection or projectile protection. It makes protection way too overpowered and necessary. Speaking of the more specific protection enchantments, they actually do stay in the game. And there are some new ones as well. The full list goes Overworld Attack Protection. Protects against direct mob hits of overworld mobs. Otherworldly Attack Protection. Protects against direct hits of Nether and End mobs. Blast Protection. Protects against explosions. Heat Protection. Protects against fire, lava, and magma. Projectile Protection. Protects against projectiles. And finally, Natural Protection. Protects against natural causes, such as hunger, drowning, suffocation, etc. Not fall damage, that's feather falling. Anyways, the next removed enchantment is Efficiency. I removed this one because efficiency is basically like, do you want your pickaxe to be actually good? Yes? Well then put efficiency on it. Now, to make your pickaxe work faster, you should use Haste Potions. These potions are made from golden beetroots, which you can create by surrounding a beetroot with 8 golden nuggets. Drinking a haste potion boosts your pickaxe's speed for a short time. Also, if this was implemented, haste would be buffed by a lot. Here's how it would work. A basic haste potion is made with 1 golden beetroot. It gives you haste 1, which is like having a level 2 efficiency enchantment on your pickaxe, and it lasts for 5 minutes. If you add glowstone dust to it, you get a stronger potion, haste 3, which is like efficiency 6 and lasts for 2.5 minutes. This lets you break stone blocks instantly with a diamond pickaxe. Alternatively, if you add redstone dust instead, the potion lasts for 10 minutes, but with the effect of haste 1. By the way, this helps alleviate problem 6 somewhat, because beetroot sucks as a food source, and this gives it another use. Okay, so I just kind of realized while working on this project that without efficiency, the pickaxe doesn't have many enchantments, so I think the pickaxe should get some more new enchantments, like possibly a way to auto-smelt ores while mining, and maybe a way to mine a bigger area at once. Just some ideas. Anyways, the last removed enchantment is Mending. This one seems like the most obvious removal to me, because every single late-game player puts Mending on their tools to prevent them breaking. If you don't, your tool and all your enchantments will just disappear. But now with Mending gone, won't that exact problem, aka problem number 4, be even worse? That's why every tool now never fully breaks. What do I mean by never fully breaks? Now, when a tool or piece of armor in Minecraft reaches the end of its durability, it enters what I call a broken state. This is akin to the way elytras currently work. For example, if your diamond chestplate breaks while you're being chased by a horde of zombies, it'll still be on you, but it won't provide any damage protection or applies enchantments until it's repaired. The same goes for tools. They'll stay in your hotbar, but just won't be usable. Now let's talk about some important anvil updates. To rescue your gear from the broken state, you'll be using an anvil. It's quite straightforward. Place the broken item in the first slot, and then its repair item in the second slot. The repair cost is determined by the number of enchantment levels on your tool. If you have a lot of enchantments, you need to pay a lot of levels. If your gear is fully broken, it'll take 3 repair items to bring it back to full durability. But you can also repair items before they hit the broken state, and it'll still repair a third of the item's durability per go. The repair items are intuitive. For example, use diamonds for diamond tools and armor, planks for wooden tools, string for bows and fishing rods, iron for tridents and shears, etc. This new repair system pretty much solves problem number 4, because as long as you're okay with having to get some extra ores, you can use your tool as much as you want without worrying too much. And it's not too overpowered either, because for tools with many enchantments, you need to pay a hefty fine of levels. Now, let's get into probably the most important part of the new enchanting system. The enchantment table. The enchantment table is getting a brand new feature with the new associated enchantment item slot. What does that mean? Well, place the item you want to enchant in one slot, the lapis lazuli in another as usual, and then the associated enchantment item in this new third slot to target a specific enchantment. This makes the enchanting table much more reliable and planning-based, rather than it being all about luck. It also obviously solves problem number 2. Once you put in an associated enchantment item, the UI will display essential info like the enchantment name, a brief description of the enchantment, and the amount of lapis lazuli needed for each enchantment level. That last one is a new feature. Depending on the amount of lapis you put in, you will get higher levels of enchantments. Pause and look at this chart if you really want. Doesn't really matter though. Also, you need the same number of levels to get an enchantment as you do lapis, and it does actually use up the levels. Another neat feature is that the more lapis you use, the higher your chance of scoring a bonus enchantment, and the percent chance that you get a bonus enchantment is also listed in the enchanting table. And here's another cool feature. If you place an item in the item slot without any lapis or associated enchantment item, the enchantment table will show you all the available enchantments for that item, including the associated enchantment item needed for each enchantment. And one more thing I forgot to mention about associated enchantment items. Many of them could easily be otherwise useless items, and this will give use to them. For example, the AIE for quick charge could be an arrow of swiftness, and the AIE for impaling could be a glow ink sac. I have a Google Doc linked in the description of this video that tells ideas for primary versions, secondary versions, and AIEs for each enchantment. The last enchantment table update is pretty simple. In normal Minecraft, you can only enchant an unenchanted tool in an enchanting table. Now, you can enchant a tool as many times as you want in an enchanting table, except that the first time you enchant, you'll always get a primary enchantment on your tool, and every time after that, you'll get a secondary enchantment. So with these updates, we're tackling all the problems we identified earlier, except one. The very first problem, problem number 1, is still a problem. You could just build a villager trading hall and not really worry about the new enchanting system at all. I think that the new villager rebalance thing that might be coming in Minecraft 1.21 is kind of a dumb solution, but I guess it could work. Personally, I think that villagers should maybe only sell level 1 and 2 enchantments for books, and at like a pretty hefty price, so it's way less appealing to trade with villagers, because if you want something like a Blast Protection 4 book, then you're going to have to buy 4 Blast Protection 2 books, and then combine them in an anvil. So that solves that pretty much, I feel. What do you think of these possible changes? Would you implement them in Minecraft, or do you have other ideas to improve Minecraft's enchanting system? Let me know in the comments below. Please forget to hit the like button and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. Bye!